Okay, so who we are? What have So who we are? Solis, our company established in 2005, and we are one of the most experienced and the largest manufacturer of solar inverters. We have been in solar industry for over 16 years. In 2009, we have completed new PV inverter production facilities that including entire industry chain. And in 2015, we have our inverter installed at Eiffel Tower, which is not achieved by any other inverter manufacturer. And from 2016 and now, we have received a reward of the EU PV inverter for 6 consecutive years. And we also are the first publicly traded company with a primary focus on the string inverters. And in 2021, in this year, our second manufacturer base will put into operation, and which will improve our delivery much better. So our asset and our employees. We have over $454 million of assets. We have a global employee for over 2,000 people and more than 300 for engineer. And this is including our R&D team, the service team, production team, and just like this means, which no matter what we very appreciate the customer feedback or the market feedback for our products. We have over 300 of engineers, which can just like bring everything possible. And our company for shipment, we are number 3. So we have 5% of the Chinese export in 2018 and 2019. And we are global single phase inverter market share. We have 9% in 2019. And in 2020, we are the number 4 in the global market share. And in 2020, we have around 40 domestic residential ship in 2020. It's number 1 in China. And now, of course, the R&D team, which is most important for inverter manufacturer. You can see from the photo, we have the R&D expenditure has increased year by year compared to 2019 and 2020. 2020 almost triple the expenditure. And also based on the feedback from our chief production manager, is that we need to spend more money on this one, and we can spend more, which means to bring our inverter much better. Also, we will only use the reliability of the components, which bring our inverter best quality. We only use the reliable partners of the components. We have the Germany brand, USA, Japan, and we guarantee 100% of the inverters products are tested before shipment. And all our inverters today will have a small screen or just like different size of screen on it, just like so makes the monitoring much easier. But also the app monitoring and the web portal is another option. We are one of the top range lifespan project in string inverter category. This is tested by the DNV-GL, is one of the company. Our inverters have 25 years lifespan of for the production, which is a very long time and compared to it's almost like the panel warranty. And here is some photos about our manufacturing line. You can see every people is wearing hat and wearing jacket, so it's to create a dust-free environment. And you also some photos for the testing. You can just like we guarantee 100% inverter is tested before shipment. This will make our fail rate very low. So this is our company profile. So how about our product range? I will have 40 string inverters from 700 watts to 230 kilowatts, sorry. And first for our residential side, we have 4 kilowatts to 6 kilowatts. It's like we also list in the MEA and the PEA. And this is 2 MPPT version. And for the residential 3-phase inverters, we have from 5 to 25. The list will be for the rest will be listed at the middle of October. And also for the bigger size for the commercial or small utility, we have 25 to 50, and we go along to 230 kilowatts of the inverters. And also for the smart energy production line, we have the data logger, which can support the internet or the Wi-Fi or the GPRS. And secondly, we have the data logging box, which can just like for more complicated situations. For example, multi-inverter installed at one site, and you want to make the communication much easier. Then we also have the export manager. We have a single phase and a three phase, two different version, which for different kind of scenarios. And for normally, if it's just like for one inverter installed at one site, you only need to have the meter to achieve the XY limitation. But for sometimes you have multiple inverters or some different complicated scenarios, you can use our export power manager to achieve the XY limitation. Also, as I mentioned before, we have the power station details, the monitoring portal. You can monitoring your system from your phone or through the web portal, which I will show more information later. Also, just like we have oncoming products, as you can currently we have the M6 of waterfall panels, and currently in 2021 we have some bigger panels. I think Danny will present this later. And for our inverter side, to just like to ready for this kind of market change, we have our plus version of the inverter we are going to ready in few months as well, which have the bigger current allowance. For example, the single phase will have the 14 amps per string and the 16 amps per string for the three phase inverters. So this is all our company profile. So I'm going to present our commercial utility solutions for now, and the main products we are going to introduce today is our 80 to 110 kilowatts inverters. Here is some features overview. First, our inverter have maximum efficiency is 98.7%. It's compatible with the bifacial modules, and for the 80 version we have 9 MPPTs, and then 100 and 110 we have 10 MPPTs. And we have the optional PID recovery solution integrate. And we also support some low-cost scenarios. For example, 2-in-1 Y connector support, AC cable support, PLC communication support, which I will going to present this in detail later. Also, for the safety and the reliability, for our inverters is fuse-less design. We have the Type 2 SPD for both DC and AC side. The IP rating is 66, and the integrated reduced fan cooling, and the optional AFCI protection as well for our inverters. Also, for the smarter operation and maintenance, our inverter have the integrated smart IV curve scan and the string level monitoring. You can much easier for locate the faulty panel or faulty string. And then we also have the remote upgrade. Here is the data sheet about our inverters. You can see, as I mentioned, for our 80 kilowatts, we have 9 MPPTs. And also for this series, each MPPT will going to have 2 pairs of the input. But just like based on the current rating of the panel, you can choose which way you can do the design, which will be much flexible. Here is some scenarios about our inverters. As I mentioned before, we have a huge production line from 700 watts to 230 kilowatts. So you can just like a more flexible design with other option of the inverter to match different system capacity. For example, if you want to have a 70 kilowatts system, but unfortunately we don't have 70 kilowatts, but you can have 2 kilowatts in our inverter plus another 50 to achieve the 70 kilowatts inverter size. Then we have the monitoring solution with a data logger. And for this one, you can use the Wi-Fi, GPRS, or LAN. But like for each inverter, plug into the inverter, and it can send a signal to the cloud, and our monitoring can just like showing the data, and you can do the remote monitoring. And if we have the multiple inverters at one site, and you don't want to waste too much time for the monitoring setting, you can use our monitoring box, which just like use the RS-485 to connection between each inverters and the connection box, and you only need to do the Wi-Fi setting once to connection the inverter to connection the inverters online. Also, you can use the PLC as another option and the communication situation. You can just like the power line communication can save the wiring cost on the communication cable for traditional RS-485 circuit. It's like can be much cheaper option. Also, just like since we consider the price, we also have the cost-effective solution for the two-in-one Y connectors. So use Y connectors to combine two strings connection to one pairs of the input of the inverter. You can save the cost on the DC cabling. And just like we have done some math, just like overall for the DC wiring, if you use a two-in-one Y connectors, use a 2 millimeters cable and the 6, the cost can be reduced around 20%. Secondly, also for the cost saving, you can use the AC element cable. This is for the AC side, and just like after if you use this way, the overall AC wiring cost can reduce around 60%. So as I mentioned, for the XOR limitation solutions, we have different products for different kind of scenarios. If you just like have a single unit or just like one unit at the one site, you only require to use a meter you only need to get the meter to achieve the XOR limitation. Also, just like if you are going to have multiple inverters at one site, so you can just like choose our EPM. Just like we have two versions. One is a 5G, one is 5G just only, another is a plus version. But like for different kind of scenarios, 5G plus can fit more inverters and have built-in power meters and have built-in data logging box, and just like to have more functions. Also, just like for our future part, we have the Solis PID recovery inbuilt. Just like this is like have automatically start PV when the sunlight is quite low. It's built-in option, and it can be recovered the degradation, and it's to make sure the performance from your solar system is more reliable and better performance. Also, for safety, as I mentioned, have an AFCF function inbuilt because this is quite important mainly for the commercial job or utility job. Because typically for this kind of rooftop system, under the factory or lab, office, or other high-value assets are often right below the solar system since it's a rooftop. Because the potential fire risk is not only affect the PV system itself, but it also may lead to additional damage. Also, because it's a commercial job, high DC voltage for the PV system plus number of the connection, and any damage or loose or anything happen to the panel, it can cause the DC arc, which will lead to a fire. So I have an AFCF function. It's like it will be automatically disconnection of the circuit it will be automatically detect the DC arc fault and immediately disconnect of the circuit to just avoid the DC arc, which will just like to protect the value of the whole building. Also, as I mentioned, we have a smart monitoring portal it's called Solis Cloud, and you can remotely control your inverters, can remotely upgrade, power on, power off, or firmware upgrade, and also can do a string level monitoring. And as I mentioned, you have this IV curve scanning. You can much easier for you to determine which panel is not working, which string is not working. Then you can much easier to find which panel is not working. And here is also an example of the IV string from our Solis Cloud. You can see from all the string numbers, and you can much easier to find faulty panels. Here is our inverters. So as I mentioned before, we have just like compatible panels. We have done some research here, and we use for the 166 milliwatt panels, we use a Ryzen 450 as an example. You can just like we recommend to use our current inverters, the Solis 110-5G, because each string can be 13 amps. For this one, we can see for the 80 kilowatts one, the maximum panel power can be 128, and which is just like DC to AC rate is around 162%, which is a very good percentage. And also similar for the 110, but like because we have more MPPTs, so the DC to AC ratio will remain the same. So we have the total power is also get bigger. But for the 182 millimeters wafers panel, so I use the one of the market in the market is 55 kilowatts. So for this one, we recommend to use our Solis 110-5G-plus version. Each string can be 16 amps one. So each MPPT will have two strings connected. So and also the DC to AC ratio can be reached 180, roughly this number for all three modules. And also for our 210 millimeters wafers, for this one I use the example of the Ryzen 550 panel. For this one, we recommend to use our non-plus version of the inverters because for the string, since we have each MPPT will have one string, the maximum the DC to AC ratio can be remain for the 81 can be remain 160%. For the 100 and 110, it can be around to 143% and 130%. Which is also still pretty good in the market. Okay, so here is all the information about our inverters. Here is some case study because you can see all our inverters is dispatched to around the world. Here is a 5 kilowatts inverter residential size installed in Australia, and also we have some. This is the Solis 80 to 130 K-5G inverters installed in Vietnam. As you can see, these inverters we have already tested in other countries, so you don't need to worry about the reliability or the performance. Also, we have this inverter installed in China. This is 2 megawatts job, and another China's job is that we use the same inverters because we just have different module name strategy. And another 2 megawatts system installed in China, and almost 1 megawatts is in Vietnam. And here is all the information about our inverters. You can follow us online, and we have the link in Twitter, Facebook, or you have any questions, you're always welcome to email us. Here is our colleague in the Thailand. And if you have the sales inquiry, you can contact Simon. If you have you need a tech support, we also have the tech support in Vietnam as well. So that's all for my part. Thanks, guys.
ครับตอนนี้ก็จบเซสชันแรกแล้วนะครับของทาง Solis Inverter นะครับ Solis Inverter เองก็เพิ่งเป็นแบรนด์ที่เพิ่งทำตลาดในประเทศไทยนะครับโดย Solis Inverter เองเนี่ยมีอายุมานานกว่า16ปีแล้วนะครับแต่ว่าเพิ่งเข้ามาทำตลาดในประเทศไทยนะครับก็เลยขอมาประชาสัมพันธ์ผ่านทางเว็บบินาร์นี้ด้วยนะครับเซสชั่นต่อไปจะเป็นเรื่องจับรางวัลนะครับก็เดี๋ยวผมจะสุ่มจากผู้เข้าฟังสัมมนานะครับเดี๋ยวต่อไปขอเชิญเดี๋ยวผมจะสุ่มผู้โชคดี2ท่านนะครับจากผู้เข้าฟังสัมมนานะครับก็เสร็จแล้วจะติดต่อกลับไปทางอีเมลที่ได้ลงทะเบียนไว้นะครับเซสชันต่อไปเดี๋ยวขอเชิญมิสเตอร์แดนนี่ซองครับพูดเกี่ยวกับไลเซนส์ PV ครับ
Okay, hello everyone. Hello everyone. So it's Danny Song from Ryzen Energy. So I'm very happy to be here. So firstly, I want to check. So can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. So I can start now. Thank you very much. and I come from Ryzen Energy, and now I work for the PM department, and I'm very happy that I can have this chance to introduce Ryzen and our product to everyone. Now I will introduce Ryzen and our product. So the topic here now is our product together with Solis inverter and for the Thailand market. And firstly, I want to take this chance to introduce Ryzen Energy first. Our company was founded in Yinhai, Zhejiang Province, China, at 1986. And from 2002, we started our PV module business. And at 2010, we are successed in IPO, success IPO in the Shenzhen market, stock market. And in the past decade years, there are lots of progress and approach of my company in the past decade years. And at 2015, we already expanded our internal finance plus our and we have a new strategy with the new material and the new energy. And in this year, we also get our SINA certified national laboratory. And at 2016, Ryzen was ranked the top 10 global PV module manufacturer, and we also ranked the tier 1 company group by the Bloomberg. In the 2017, Ryzen Energy already reached 10 billion revenue of this from this year, and we also established a postdoctoral workstation and the National Enterprise Technology Center. And 2019 is also a very important year of Ryzen, because at this year we started our research and development and manufacture of our HJT technology, and also in this year the first module which the output is more than 500 watts was born by Ryzen, and this is the first module which the output is more than 500, and the first module, commercial module, which produced by the 210 millimeter wafer. And at 2020, we already increased our module output from 500 to the 600 watt plus. And we also, at this year, our HJT module had ranked #1 for the shipment. And for our main business, so far we focus on the 3 main parts. The first part is still the PV material and the products manufacture, and such as the cell, the encapsulation material, the module, and the others and some other parts of the module production. For example, the frame, the soldering ribbon, and the G-box. And another main business is our PV power project, such as some EPC project, some off-grid projects, and some residential. So we also have a subsidy branch to charge for this job. And another main business is our energy storage. So we have a business group that's the charge for the energy storage when we have our own production, our energy storage pack. And so for this introduction, and later I will also give some product introduction of our storage system. And this is the latest Bloomberg information, and for this, and Ryzen was ranked the #6 of the world. So, and this the information showed in the photo in the PPT in the page is already the latest one. Okay, the above is some briefly introduction of our company. So I want to introduce some trends of the technology and our products. And from this page, and I think you can see that there are several dimensionality, because from the past several years, maybe already not 1 decade, maybe 2 decades already. For example, from 2000 to now, and there are lots of technology was developed and used in the PV industry. And for example, for the cell technology, we can see that from the past years, from the poly to mono, and from the BSF cell and to the PERC cell, and from N-type P-type cell to the N-type cell, and so all this technical approach and the development has greatly increased the power, module power, and the efficiency. And we can also see that from the cell bus bar, we can see from the bus bar quantity has already been changed and improved from 2 bus bar to the multi bus bar. So far in the industry, most bus bar, we can see that the multi bus bar MBB technology has already been the standard technology for the module product. And here I also want to see that there is one major technical change is the wafer size. I remember at 2006, even at 2006, the main wafer size is only 125 millimeter. And from the page showed here, you can see I just mentioned the M2 wafer size, 150.75 millimeter. And this wafer be used for, I think, for 3 to 4 years. And this type already phased out in the industry, I think, from the 2019. And from 2019 to 2021, till now, the wafer size has already changed several times from the G1 size to the G12 size. But from Ryzen and maybe also from other company in the top company in the world, that our purpose is not only to make the wafer size bigger and bigger. The purpose is to increase the module power, the module efficiency, and in the meantime, to decrease the LCOE, the levelized cost of the energy. This is the most important point for us to make any technical research and development and approach. This is the final purpose. And for Ryzen, and so far our main products now are always the 210 millimeter wafers. We call the G12 wafers. And all our products made by this, we call the Titan series. And from this page, you can also see there are several products which already cover all the application scenarios, from the residential rooftop to the C&I application rooftop, and finally to the utility scale applications. And from the left one, you can see the name is the Titan S. So this is a special designed one for the residential rooftop market, and the 510 watts, and this module will be especially used for the C&I applications. And some place they also use the 550 watts as a one kind of C&I application scenario using. And for the 600 watts and the 660 watts, for these two types, mainly used for the utility scale. And all of our products are used the following advanced technologies, such as the non-destructive slicing, and also the segment ribbon, and also the multi-bus bar soldering, and also the reflective tape. So all of these advanced technologies already be used for our standard module production. All these advanced technology used to be ensure the quality and the reliability of our module products. And also from this page, we can see that we also get multiple patents for our products and our technology used for our products. And here for our company, we also to establish a very completely quality control chain. And from this chain, we can control the material from the material selection at the beginning to the final customer service. Every step was established for the special team and the special department to handle this. And also here you can see this is our CINA certified national laboratory. And in this laboratory, we can conduct all the IEC 61215 and IEC 61730 tests in this laboratory, and also in our new product development, and also in the normal production, we will also make a random check of our modules produced every day to the laboratory for the related test. And here is we can show you normally the one times IEC test. This is a very basement test, but not only this, we also conduct 3 times IEC test here for our product, and also the PQP test. The PQP test is conducted by the PVEL, which is located in the America. Every year we will send modules to this laboratory for the product qualification program test. And last year we also get a top performer. And this it shows that the modules produced by Ryzen is with the very good quality because they passed the product qualification program with the extremely reliability test. And here is our warranty shown here. And compared with other companies, I think this warranties has already have a good good guarantee for the customer to get best yield and best quality assurance. Okay, later I will so far I have already introduced our product and our company, and now I want to introduce some applications for the different scenario with our product. And firstly, I just want to mention that our distributed market use modules. First is our Titan S, which used for the residential market, and another one is our Titan, the 500-watt module, which used for the C&I rooftop market. And from this page, you can see that for this product, we have already made some compatible tests with all the related mounting structure in the world for the distributed market, not only in China, but also in the globally. And here, because for this product, we need to consider about the module size and the module weight and also the module output, because it is different for the distributed market use module. It is different compared with the utility scale use modules, and there is a big request for the module efficiency, module size, and the module weight. So when we make design of these 2 products, we have already make a lot of market investigation. For example, the Titan S, and after we make the investigation in the Europe, in Australia, and other districts, and we get request that the module size should be no more than 1.8 meter times 1.1 meter. And so far, the Titan S has already been a very hot sold product in the world, especially to Australia and Europe. And another one, the Titan, the 500-watt module is also a very good product, which used in China domestically for the rooftop project, and also the C&I project abroad. And here is the example which we use for the Malaysia one rooftop project in INC rooftop project in Malaysia, and this project was installed in the March last year. And from the analysis, we can know that the capacity compared with other kind of product use the Titan 500 watt modules, the capacity can be increased 7 to 12%, and also the system cost will reduced by 5 to 9 cents Chinese yuan, but it's around about 1 US cents. And here is another real project which was installed in the Zhejiang province, China. And this is also a C&I project and compared with other products. And we can see that the IRR is higher than other products. It means that we can get money back fastly than other products. And here is an actual application in Poland, also use the 500 watt module. It's about also 1 megawatt. And okay, so above is the C&I scenario application, but how about the residential scenario? Because they're also different compared with the residential and the C&I application, because you know the condition of the rooftop is a little different. For the residential scenario, it is a little complicated than others because there could be because the area of the rooftop is limited, and also the shadow affection is also there, or a little obviously compared with the C&I application scenario. So by this reason, and the Titan S will be very flexibly to use in this kind of scenario. And here we also compared with other product, the similar product in the world. And from all the analysis here, we can see that the Titan S has the best size and weight, and also the module power. And it's very, very flexible to using in this complicated rooftop scenario. Here is another product comparison with the Titan S. And then here is another one with the Titan S. And then here is we compare with other products. I just make a summary to compare with the number of modules in the rooftop and also the capacity in the rooftop. So we can see that the Titan S is ranked #1 and has the best performance. And here is also another issue because you know when we make the transportation of our product of Titan S, 140 feet container, we can load it about more than 900 pieces per container. It is about 0.38 megawatt. So this can decrease the transportation cost much, and especially in this period that we can see that the logistic cost is very high at this period. But the more than 900 capacity loading capacity is much help for the customer and also for the company. And here is the system application compared with the compatible with the inverter. Here I just make the Solis inverter, the 5G series, and here I just make some calculation. So for our product, the Titan series, it can be compatible with the Solis for this type. Very nice. And I also calculate the DC-AC ratio. We can see this value is also good in the different application and compatible. And here is also a kind of residential battery pack system. This also produced by Ryzen company, and if there are any needed, we can also to make the make the module and also the energy storage system together to supply the whole solution. And here is one of our factory which located in Chuzhou City, China. This is one of our 66 factories globally. And in the 2021, the cell capacity of us is above the 13.5 gigawatt, and the module capacity is about 19 gigawatt. And in future, our technical approach will also to switch to the N-type in future. So for the Titan series were made by the P-type PERC, and in future we will also use the N-type for the same product series, and we will keep the same module size, but the module output will be much higher, and you can see the module efficiency will up to with more than 22% at that time, and all the products will be launched from the Q1 next year. Okay, that's all above is all my introduction of Ryzen and the Ryzen product and the compatible with and applications in the different scenario. Okay, thank you.
ครับตอนนี้ทางวิทยากรทั้งสองท่านก็ได้บรรยายทั้งในพาร์ทอินเวอร์เตอร์และในพาร์ทแผง PV แล้วนะครับไม่ทราบผู้เข้าร่วมบรรยายมีคำถามอะไรสามารถถามได้นะครับที่ถามมาแล้วก็จะมีเรื่องฟังก์ชัน anti-PID นะครับมีเรื่อง LCOE cost นะครับเดี๋ยวอาจจะให้ทางคุณเจฟเฟอร์สันตอบคำถามนะครับ Hello Jefferson
Yeah, I can hear.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry, can you say the question again?
Yeah. Some question. The anti-PID. Mr. Tom asked about anti-PID function.
Okay, yeah, just I'm going to present in a slides as well. Can be much easier for the understanding. Danny, can you give me the authority to streaming?
Page 22.
Okay, can you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. This is our Solis PID recovery solution. Just like you can just like when the sunlight is quite low or is like not strong enough, it can be still can have some performance and all the protection of the inverters. So it's like we have this function inbuilt, and it can be recover the decoration of the panels as well. Can be much also is good for the panel side. Also, I think we also saw a question about our 100 kilowatts inverter string can be able to connection with 7 set of the Titan module with scenario connectors. It's like we have some case study over here. I think it's the 120 panels. We use the Ryzen 55 kilowatts as an example, which is like for each MPPTs we'll have one for 100 modules for 100 kilowatts inverters. Each MPPT will have 1 strings, so which means have 10 strings. And the total panel power can be 143 with the Ryzen 5500 panels. I think. Okay, that's answers. Kai? Okay, can you hear me?
The 7 sets that mean parallel connection module parallel connection in one MPPT. So it depends on the summation current, right? If not over MPPT current, that means
it
they
will
can
depend
connect PV to inverter, right?
Yes, it will be depends on the current rating of the panel and compare this number to our inverter allowance. If it can be double, so it means it can be 2 strings. It will totally depends on the panel and the inverter.
ครับก็มีฟังบรรยายสอบถามว่าสามารถขนานแผงที่เป็นทินฟิล์ม7 ชุดได้หรือเปล่านะครับคำตอบก็คือถ้ากระแสรวมกันไม่เกินพิกัดของ MPP นั้นก็สามารถเชื่อมต่อได้นะครับแล้วก็มีช่วงแรกที่ทางคุณจิตสันบรรยายก็คือเรื่องฟังก์ชัน NTPD นะครับก็จะเป็นฟีเจอร์ของอินเวอร์เตอร์ที่ช่วยยืดอายุของนะครับให้สามารถใช้งานได้นานขึ้นนะครับคำถามถัดไปก็จะจากคุณอรุณเรื่อง efficiency สูงสุดจากแผงเหรอครับอันนี้ต้องรัน PVC simulate นะครับอันนี้ต้องรันว่าแผงเชื่อมต่อยังไงบ้างอินเวอร์เตอร์จัดกลุ่มยังไงบ้างแล้วก็ต้องรัน PVC นะครับ PVC จะสามารถช่วยประเมินเบื้องต้นได้นะครับว่าเราจัดกลุ่มแผงอย่างไรบ้างอินเวอร์เตอร์อย่างไรบ้างนะครับฟังก์ชัน arc fault นะครับมีทุกรุ่นไหมนะครับตัวรุ่น110มีฟังก์ชัน arc fault มาให้แล้วนะครับไม่ต้องเป็นออปชันเพิ่มนะครับส่วนรุ่นอื่นมีหรือเปล่าก็บางรุ่นมีนะครับก็เดี๋ยวจะมีใน data sheet จะชี้แจงอยู่ว่ารุ่นไหนมีบ้างไม่มีบ้างนะครับมีคำถามเรื่อง LCOE ด้วยนะครับก็จะเป็นเรื่องการคิดเรื่องต้นทุนภาพรวมของโครงการนะครับมีคำถามว่ามีโปรเจกต์ในประเทศไทยบ้างหรือยังนะครับปัจจุบันก็มีโครงการหลายโครงการแล้วนะครับที่ติดตั้งเสร็จแล้วก็มีนะครับที่กำลังติดตั้งก็มีนะครับอย่างบางไซต์ขนาดใหญ่ถึง 3.5 เมกก็มีนะครับที่ใช้ของอินเวอร์เตอร์โซลิสนะครับแล้วที่กำลังจะก่อสร้างอยู่ไซต์ถึง10 เมกก็มีนะครับที่ทางตัวแทนจำหน่ายแจ้งกลับมานะครับก็มีฉะนั้นเรื่อง reference เรื่องความน่าเชื่อถือก็สามารถมั่นใจได้ระดับหนึ่งนะครับตัวแทนจำหน่ายตอนนี้มีที่ไหนบ้างก็อันนี้ต้องลองเดี๋ยวผมจะสอบถามทางคุณไซมอนนะครับซึ่งเป็นทีมเซลล์มาร์เก็ตติ้งของทางโซลิสนะครับว่ามีตัวแทนจำหน่ายที่เป็นทางการกี่รายบ้างนะครับStephen, the question about DC-AC ratio, can you explain more from the last question?
Could you please address the DC to ratio and yes. Okay. This is also just like yeah. Also for our products, for our commercial 80 to 110 kilowatts, is like the maximum just like can different different, just like it will be case by case, just like what kind of scenario you want to put be, just like the case I present before, just like with different wafer size panel, the DC to AC ratio is almost like more than 150%. So this is like a pretty good ratio. Just like when you do a real design, just like I think I follow the 150, it will be already a good number.
simulation ด้วยนะครับว่าเราจะเอาเท่าไหร่นะครับตัว DC AC ratio นะครับวันนี้มีคำถามมาหลายคำถามเลยมีคำถามว่าทาง Solis กับ License เป็นยังไงกันบ้างนะครับก็จริงๆเราทาง Solis เนี่ยมีการจัดเว็บนาเรื่อยๆนะครับมีจับมือกับทางผู้ผลิตแผงหลายรายนะครับก็จะมีสลับผัดเปลี่ยนไปเรื่อยๆนะครับก็เดี๋ยวครั้งหน้าก็จะจับกับ PV ยี่ห้ออื่นนะครับคำถามคิดว่าน่าจะพวก Data Sheet มีให้โหลดไหมถ้าเป็นของ Inverter ก็เข้าไปที่เว็บไซต์นะครับพิมพ์ Solis Inverter ถ้าเป็นชื่อเว็บไซต์จะเป็นจินหลงนะครับก็เดี๋ยวอาจจะมีลิงก์ให้ในสไลด์นะครับว่าสามารถโหลดได้ที่ไหนบ้างนะครับนะครับก็ในท้ายสไลด์จะมีอีเมลคอนแทคทางถ้าเป็นเรื่องมาร์เก็ตติ้งก็ปรึกษาทางคุณไซมอนนะครับก็เดี๋ยวหลังจากจบเว็บนาแล้วก็จะมีลิงก์ presentation file ให้ดาวน์โหลดนะครับก็สามารถสอบถามคำถามกลับมาทางอีเมลนั้นได้นะครับก็วันเดี๋ยวขอดูคำถามก่อนนะครับMr. Danny, I saw have the one question about solar module from Mr. Alan.
Okay, for me?
Yeah.
Okay, so please, which question?
What are the current and upcoming innovative material in solar module?
You mean what is the maximum efficiency we can get in the solar module? Hello.
Danny, he means the last question.
ไม่ทราบว่าคำถาม
Okay. So your question is, what are the current and upcoming innovation materials in solar module? I think, for the solar modules, I think there are lots of material used for the module, the encapsulation, including the encapsulation material, including the cell and including the frame and including the G box. So for currently, I think the most innovation is on the cell itself. As what I mentioned in my presentation, and I also give a kind of dimensionality for the different direction from the cell technology, and there are already lots of innovations. For example, from the wafer size, and it's come to be bigger and bigger, and from the bus bar, and it was increased from only 2 bus bar to the multi bus bar, and maybe in future we can see that maybe we cancel the bus bar, only we left the grid line on the cell itself, and maybe in future we will also to cancel the small grid line. It means that in the cell surface we will not to see any silver line on the cell surface. Every connection is on the back side. So this is also a trend. And another one is that the cell type. So far I think in the past 3 years before, and normally the main product is a poly cell and a poly module with a poly wafer. But now the main product is mono, and it is not the normal mono. It is a kind of we call the P-type PERC. So this is the many product in the current solar market, because it's the most cost-effective product. But in future, as we know, for the P-type PERC cell, there is a bottleneck of the cell efficiency. So far in China, normally in all the tier 1 manufacturers, including Ryzen, the cell efficiency will get is already about 23%. 23%, and this cell efficiency is almost the highest of the solar cell in the commercial mass production, not the laboratory efficient cell, for the commercial mass production. And in future, if we still want to increase the module output or the cell output, we have to switch to another technology. We call the N-type technology. And for the N-type, now the main product now is the TOPCon, the heterogeneous junction cell. So I think in future, now the P-type PERC is the main product, but in future, the N-type will come to be more and more important, and maybe come to be the mainstream in future. According to our investigation and our estimation, we think maybe after 2024, year 2024, I think N-type will come to be more and more popular and occupy most proportions in the solar market. So this is from the cell itself. And of course, from your question, I can see you just to see the materials, and as what I just mentioned, this is the cell, but also for the EVA, for the encapsulation, there are also some innovations to ensure the lower cost and the best reliability. So this is just some overview and a brief introduction. Thank you. Okay, that's all.
ครับโอเค thank you เนื่องจากอันนี้ได้เวลาตามที่ได้ขอทางเว็บ webinar ไว้นะครับก็เดี๋ยวผมจะสุ่มเลือกผู้โชคดี5ท่านนะครับก็มีคุณทอมนะครับมีคุณกรมกรขอโทษนะครับถ้าอ่านผิดนะครับคุณศศินภัทรนะครับคุณสุนันทานะครับแล้วก็คุณอรุณนะครับเป็น5ท่านนะครับก็เดี๋ยวทางทีมงานจะจัดส่งลัคกี้ดอไปให้ตามที่อยู่ที่ได้ลงทะเบียนไว้เดี๋ยวจะมีส่งอีเมลเพื่อสอบถามที่อยู่เพื่อจะส่งตัวลัคกี้ดอไปให้นะครับก็ในวันนี้ก็จบแล้วนะครับถ้าวันนี้มีอุปสรรคประการใดก็ขออภัยด้วยนะครับเพราะว่าเว็บ webinar ก็อยู่ที่สัญญาณอินเทอร์เน็ตนะครับบางที่ดีบางที่ไม่ดีนะครับถ้ามีคำถามสอบถามเพิ่มเติมสามารถสอบถามกลับมาในอีเมลได้นะครับทั้งเรื่องอินเวอร์เตอร์ทั้งเรื่องแผงนะครับโอเคครับ ถ้าเช่นนั้นวันนี้ขอปิดการสัมมนาเว็บนาร์เท่านี้ครับมิสเตอร์เจฟสันมิสเตอร์แดนนี่ say goodbye
Okay, goodbye. Thanks for coming, guys.
Okay, thank you. Bye bye.
ครับขอบคุณมากทุกท่านมากครับขอบคุณครับ